Excuse me, could you point me in the direction of ScreamCity? Never mind, I think I found it.
Hello, horror freaks. Welcome back to ScreamCity. I'm your host, Jess.
And I'm Monica. And in today's episode, we will be discussing the houses October built.
I want to find the most extreme haunted house in the world.
What is an extreme haunt? I don't understand how far you really can go on without hurting somebody.
Pretty extreme.
Pretty
Yeah.
extreme, if you ask us.
Yeah.
But that's just me.
That's just me. That's just me, though. But before we continue on with the movie, let's get life stuff out of the way. So, Monica, any jump scares these past couple of days?
Jump scares. I honestly, so every time we kind of come up with, like, every time we get on here and we start talking about, our past week, I forget what happens in the past.
Yeah.
I forget what happened this morning. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But no, only thing. So last night I started reading the book that we're reading for my sister's book club.
Mhm.
And I'm listening to the audio of it. And when I tell you, it was like a good jump scare. Because
Okay.
I heard it and I said, ah!
Okay.
I was so excited. And then Mateo was like, what's going on? It's narrated by Patrick Wilson.
Shut the fuck
Oh
up.
my gosh.
Monica,
I'm not kidding. I
drop
will
the link right now.
Oh, and and I don't know if you know, but it went all over TikTok as well. There's also a book that's narrated by Pedro Pascal.
Oh, I think I did know that
Yes,
one.
that one.
Yeah,
but this one is narrated by
by
Patrick
Patrick Wilson.
Yes.
Oh, my God.
This book came out in 2018, so I feel like it was maybe a little bit before or right at like Patrick Wilson's like
Yeah.
little peak.
Okay.
And it's so good. He is such a good narrator. But I also think I just listening to him talk.
Yeah, we're being a little biased. But it's
Yeah.
okay because he's amazing.
Yeah. So that's why I was like, it's a good jump scare because I
Yeah.
listened to it and I was like, oh my God.
I love that.
Yeah, it was really good because she was like, and narrated by Patrick Wilson. I was
Ugh.
like the Patrick Wilson?
The
And then
Patrick
he
Wilson?
started speaking and then I was like, oh my gosh, shut the hell up.
God.
Like, you don't even have to really pay attention to the story.
Yeah.
You're just,
You're just entranced by his voice.
Yes. And he really kind of does have a unique voice.
Yeah.
Like, it's a typical, like, I don't know, male voice.
Yeah.
But, like, I don't know. He
But
has
it's
like
Patrick Wilson.
Yeah. He has, like, this accent, but also, like, this, I don't know, the sway to his voice.
Yeah.
I can't really explain it. But anyway.
I love that.
But that's pretty much about me. What about
Okay.
you? Anything?
I'm literally trying to remember.
I know.
I don't doubt that I did have jump scares. I had a test on Thursday. It was over Narnia. So that was kinda
Narnia.
interesting. Yeah. The
Interesting.
jump scare will probably be tomorrow when I get my grade.
It's not going to be that great.
No. I'm gonna say no jump scare. I'm gonna leave it at a no jump scare
Okay.
week.
Right.
But I did want to mention that prior to recording today's episode, Monica and I were fortunate enough to kind of hop on a Zoom call with Horror Daddy's podcast. They are wonderful people and
Yes,
they're
they are.
absolutely amazing. It's we could literally talk for hours.
Yeah, I think
They
we could
were
hold the
such-
conversation.
Yeah, they were such great guys, and we are looking to kind of collaborate in the near future. So stay tuned for that.
Yes, I'm so excited. They
Me
are
too.
so funny. If you haven't listened to Horror Daddy's
Horror Daddy.
Horror Daddy's podcast, please do. They are so sweet. They are so funny. And I honestly think they had mentioned it, but they're like, you guys are like the girl
Female
version of
version
us.
of us,
Yeah,
yeah.
no, it was so funny. So if you enjoy our like bickering or like our funniness
Banter.
and our banter and everything that you like about us, you will most likely definitely find in their podcast too. So I'm really excited for us to talk a little bit more of what we're gonna cover, when we're gonna cover it, and things like that. But all right, well, let's go ahead and get into the movie. So, like we mentioned in literally every episode, there will be spoilers, and so don't say we did not warn you because we did. So
We did.
do not sue us.
And this movie's been out,
Long enough.
what, 2014?
It came out in 2014.
God.
So giving you a brief summary of the movie that I get off of IMDb, because I've realized if you ever compare Google
Mhm.
compared to
A ver.
oh my god, IMDb.
Uh-huh.
IMDb does a really good good synopsis because they shorten.
Yeah.
They shorten
But
it
they
and
just get to the point.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, with this one, we have 5 friends. 5 friends are stalked by a group of mysterious and disturbed individuals while on a road trip looking for the ultimate haunted house attraction.
Well, they found it.
And they
And
did. And did.
And did.
And I know y'all hear my rant coming on about how much I hate haunted houses and why I love/hate these type of movies because they don't help with my fear. So
Right. Well, I guess now that we have that out of the way, Monica, why don't you start us off with your first impression watching this film for the first time, and what would you say is your favorite scene and spook?
Thank you so much for asking, especially for this type of film.
Right.
So watching this for the first time, I watched it around Halloween time last year. So it's actually a recent watch for me. Well, less because it came out in 2014. And I loved it, but I hated it because let me tell you, these are the things that I fear when going into actual haunted houses. When I did watch this, I thought it would have the same theme as Hell House because I had watched Hell House first, and then I watched House is October Built. And when I watched Hell House,
okay. Oh, my bad. I thought you said Hellfest for a second.
Not Hellfest.
But like honestly, let's just okay. Hell House.
Yes.
Hellfest.
Yes.
Haunt.
Yes.
Bloodfest.
Yes.
House is October Built.
Can you see the theme?
Can you see the theme? I'm missing like probably 7 more.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, they're all I can see how
they're
one
all
would
movies.
confuse it. They're all movies with the same premise
Yeah.
and the same goal. And so I thought this because it's an indie film. It's taking place at a haunted house. It's taking it's the same theme, so I thought it would kind of be the same way. So I expected House is October Built to kind of show the same I don't know. I thought they were going into a haunted house that was
actually haunted. Yeah.
But let me tell you,
did that happen?
No.
No.
It's giving very much McCamey Manor.
1000%.
Right. So this is why I hate/love this movie. Because when I tell people, and I tell people all the time who get surprised that I tell them that I don't like haunted houses because it's honestly a fear of mine. Because my fear is what other people are capable of doing when in these situations where they can easily mask their massacres.
And we have a couple of quotes coming up
that you mention in every 6 episodes.
Well, yes, my quote in particular, yes, but there's going to be an audio that you guys will listen to.
And I need you to rate it on 1 to 5 on how terrifying it is. And if it's any less than a 5, I have questions for your mental health. Okay. But overall, this movie as a movie is really good. I think it's a unique take on a found footage slash haunted house type of horror film. Because it's not Bloodfest, it's not Hellfest, it's not, well, kind of. It's not Hell House for sure. It's Bloodfest, and it's and then the found footage part of this film is what makes this film a lot more scary for me as someone who does not like horror films. Now my favorite scene, I chose one that I hate/like because it kind of is terrifying, and it's what makes, again, me scared of going into haunted houses. But it's a kind of a brief one, sort of, but they basically, they're the people, the filmmaker, and everyone in their group, they're in a haunted house and they end up getting guided the wrong way because I believe the porcelain girl comes out in one of the haunted houses and she's like, follow me, come this way. And so they're following her through the haunted house, but they end up in an area that's not part of the haunt. And then nothing really happens to them yet at that point of the movie, but I don't know. It's just really eerie and creepy. One, because the porcelain girl is terrifying, and I'm like, why would you follow her? And second, that's also another fear of mine. What if I walk into a haunted house and I see someone guiding the group in another direction that's not part of the haunt, and then what do you do?
I know.
What's happening? what do you do in that situation? Now my favorite spook, literally the entire ending. The entire ending of the last movie. I do like / hate the scene where both, I forget who it is, but both the girl and the guy are getting buried.
Mm-hmm.
Terrifying.
I hate that.
Terrifying. And then I also I mentioned this scene a little bit before we started recording, but there's a scene where Bobby sees his friend locked up in a room, and it's a two-way mirror, but his friend can't see him, but Bobby can see him, and he's trying to yell at him, but he can't hear him. So it's like, imagine in that situation, like imagine being in Bobby's situation where you see your friend in this room that's like, you're about to get fucked, and you can't hear me, but I can see everything that's happening to you. Terrifying. Awful, awful, awful. So scary. So yeah, that's my spook. What about you? Your big three.
So my big three. My first impression, I associate this movie with two other movies for some reason. And I think the reason is, number one, I watched them around the same time. And number two, they give off the same terrifying vibes. Like, the only word that I can think of is genuinely just terrifying.
Yeah.
I associate this movie with Hell House, LLC, and Incident in a Ghostland.
I can see that for sure.
Besides that, besides the, kind of associating them with two other absolutely horrifying and terrifying movies, I really enjoyed my first time watching it, which I think was about a couple years ago with my sister.
Yeah.
Maybe like 1 or 2 years ago, actually. To me, it was kind of giving like Blair Witch Project kind of vibes.
Yeah.
Not just because of the found footage, but also because I wasn't sure whether, like, during the movie and afterwards, whether or not it was real.
Oh,
You know
yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah. It does kind
So-
of give that like questionable, like, did this really happen?
Which I know, like, the interviews with the cast members from like different haunted houses is real, but in my mind, like, I can't help but think that this is genuinely real.
So yeah.
So, yeah, overall, first impression, I liked it. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I really enjoy this movie. It's scary
Yeah,
to
I like
me.
it too.
It's terrifying. My favorite scene, the scene where I think they're in NOLA, right?
Maybe. I mean, yeah, they
Yeah.
end up in NOLA.
Yeah.
At some point, yeah.
When they're in NOLA on like the strip and everything, and they're being stalked and eventually I think one of them, I don't remember who it was, get lured into like the alleyway, and that's when like all the rest of the kidnappings just like start. Scary, because I don't know, like the thought of being surrounded by by like the public, and then this still happening to you.
Yeah.
That's so scary to me.
That is scary. It's terrifying.
It's terrifying.
I hate it.
My favorite scare, fuck that bitch. The porcelain doll.
The porcelain doll lady.
Mask, whatever her name is.
Yeah.
When she walks into the RV,
Oh my gosh.
I hate
hate
the
it.
way. First of all, I hate her face. But second of all, her movement, like, shout out to the actress, because the way that she moves her body.
She moves like an actual doll because she rarely like turns her head. It's like she turns her whole body, and she's very animated in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just, I mean, I know that there's a few other jump scares throughout the movie, but
That one was pretty scary. Also, why would you stop and go get her?
exactly.
Like, why would you get down from your RV? You see that, and then you're like, oh, she came or followed us from the other haunt. And then it's like, let me go out there and see what she wants. It's like, how about we don't? How about we let her just do what she got to do and just drive by? We can wave from the window from inside.
Right.
Bye.
Right. And then she lets out that little scream.
I was like,
Yeah.
Ew.
But anyway,
Okay.
those are my three.
Those are your good three. Good three.
Now, kind of going back to that segment that we kind of started and we kind of here and there do and don't do.
Yeah.
The segment is where we ask you, our listeners, to let us know what you thought about the movie. And yeah, so for this movie, we have my sister, Adriana. Shout out to my sister.
Shout out to Adriana. Miss
She-
Adri.
said, oh yeah, I forgot that we call her Adriana. That's funny. So she said, 4 houses October built. She said, I love that it is a road trip movie in the search for the scariest of haunted houses and that it takes place somewhere as big and lonely as Texas.
That's true.
I love
Pretty
the
terrifying
way
down here.
I love the way it's filmed because it gives it that much more of a realistic feel.
And that's exactly what you just mentioned. I really do think that it's pretty scary that they included the interviews that you said they are real. I was like, because they look pretty legit. Like, or they're just really good actors. Because I believed that they seemed like real interviews.
And I don't know how credible this is, but on marymercy.com, it says it's part documentary. There are real interviews with real haunt workers, part horror story, just how much of what's happening to these characters is part of the extreme haunt they're trying to track down, and how much of it is the work of true psychopaths who are out there to cause the harm.
Yeah. So, well, that's what I mean. Like, when we include things like real interviews, or if we include anything that kind of shows you that's actually real, and then you connect it to something like this extreme, like it's pretty terrifying.
Yeah.
I do like the road trip vibe to this too.
Me too.
She's correct on that. I do like it. I like the little RV and then hopping from little city to city and being like, horror house here, horror house there. It's pretty fun.
Cute.
Okay, love. Thanks, Adri. All right, let's go ahead and discuss the movie a little bit. We're going to go ahead and dissect it. And my first thing is, can you imagine?
No.
Okay, don't. Close the imagination box.
All right.
Finding a video of yourself sleeping on the internet, I'd kill myself.
I'd kill myself.
Because I'm like, you gonna hear me snore. You might even hear me toot a little bit. Like, why are you gonna put that out on the internet?
Mine is, y'all gonna see me drool. No, okay. Y'all, I sleep talk.
I think I do too.
I sleep talk. But like, it's
like mumbling.
I sleep moan.
Oh.
And I can't, it's called it's called something.
Okay.
It's called catatherenia.
Who?
I have catatherenia, which means that I moan in my sleep.
Katrina?
No,
Who's Katrina?
Hurricane Katrina.
I love Hurricane Katrina.
Me too.
No, we don't. We don't love her.
No, I'm just kidding. No, it's called catatherenia. Okay. And it's people who moan in their sleep, and I do that.
Where does
you just literally just naturally just let out a kind of sound. So
that's terrifying.
Where are my fellow catatherenians at?
Catatherenia.
Anyway, no, I would be most
I would be so embarrassed. Yeah, and I've been told I eat in my sleep.
Excuse me?
Well, not literally. It's more like,
oh, you're just savoring a little something. Yeah.
So I don't know, but my thing is, I'd be so embarrassed that, and I can't handle embarrassment like that. I don't handle embarrassment like a champion.
No.
I'm not the bigger person and try to laugh it off.
There are those people that are like, I've never felt embarrassed a day in my life.
Good for you.
Good for you, but I cannot
I feel embarrassed every day of my life.
Waking moment of my life.
Just this morning, I woke up thinking about something so cringe that I did when I was younger, and I was like, I wish I was dead.
I think about that. This literally was last week. I think about something that I did at the concert, and I'm like, fuck.
Like, why did I do it?
Why did I do it? But, I was like, you know what? To be fair, I was like in my moment.
It's like you try to justify it, and or not justify it, but you try to be like, oh, well, like I did it. Who cares?
And also, it's like, who else is going to remember that embarrassing moment?
I try
but in my mind, I'm like, I can remember everyone else's embarrassing moment. Yeah, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's pretty bad, and I hate the way that that I am about that. But anyway, when that part popped up on in the movie, I said the way that I would murder the person who was filming me.
Going back to we were definitely mentioning this a second ago, but psychos are real.
Indeed. Oh, absolutely,
they really are, and. I think y'all are gonna hear the audio in a second, but this interviewee says that all of that, all the mess that he has in his head, all that like pent up aggression, he gets to
Let out on
on
people.
somebody. And that interviewee is an actor at a haunt.
Mm-hmm.
And that is so scary.
Yes. And so here's the thing. So I've always wanted to work as a scare actor.
Same.
Right. Like at any type of haunt, really. Well, maybe not any type of haunt, but like a haunted house that's maybe somewhere local,
Mm-hmm.
but that's popular.
Right.
Because I want to see
The behind the scenes.
I want to see who these people are, right?
Mhm.
And my thing is because I want to see, like, because I've seen TikToks of people who are scare actors around this time of year, and some of them look so nice, and some of them look so, like, happy to do their job. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, thank you. But then, like, we get people like this from this interview that I'm just like, I would hate to enter a haunted house and you be the one to, like, take it too far.
Right.
And that's what scares me. And I'm just like, I understand that like haunted houses are part of the theme and part of like everything. And like we've now made it like a subgenre in like horror movies and like, yeah, but at the same time, it's like people are scary.
They are.
And so I don't know if we've mentioned it in this on the podcast before, like in a previous, but this really does feel like if you're familiar with McCamey Manor, like that's basically what this movie is. Like it's basically like there's people who are like this group of people who we follow throughout the movie. Like they want to find the most extreme haunted house, like because they're probably used to like all of the simple like pop-ups and jump scares and like all this stuff. So they want to find something that makes them scared again. But then like they end up finding a group of people at a different haunt. They end up stalking them. They end up luring them, and then they kidnap them and take them to a quote unquote extreme haunt. And I'm like, I understand, but I don't know. But there are some people, which it gets mentioned in the movie because there's an interviewee or an interviewer with a person who's like, I get guys specifically who come up to me and get very like, I'm not scared. Like I need you to like make me scared. And he's like, I'll do anything just as close to kill you. Like if you want that. And then they said the words like, at this point, I think we're going to start, I'm not going to say it, but like essaying people. Oh, and I was like, God damn. But I'm like, there's some people that want that. And I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, why?
They're just as much psychos.
As sadistic. Is that the word?
Sadistic, masochist. Well,
no, because
is you like pain or you like
masochists. I think are people who like to
pain,
who like to receive the pain, and I think sadistic are the people who like to inflict pain.
A person who derives sexual gratification from their own pain or humiliation.
Yes.
Ew.
Yeah. These people are masochists.
Yeah. No, they need
no thanks
help.
Yeah. Which I'm like, you know what? It is what it is. You like what you like, but no, thank you. And then you like feel so surprised of like, oh my God, I made it out. And like, I was so traumatized. And it's like, honey, you said you wanted that. So it's like, how much of that is that really what you wanted? I hope you had a good time, but I don't know. I agree though. Too many psychos.
What's the best part about your job?
I'm not me for 5 hours a day, and if I can get out of the tangled up mess that is my head and into somebody else's head, all that pent up aggression is now taken out on somebody, and you know, be as vicious and mean as I can towards anybody to scare them.
That's insane.
Tell me that's not fucking scary.
Tell me that is some
absolutely
white
not
people shit.
If you,
I'm sorry.
I need to know. Yeah. I need to know where he working because I'm not going.
I'm not fixing to go right
no,
there.
No, thank you.
No, ma'am.
You can have your haunted house.
Anyway, on to the cast. We've got a few people.
Just a couple.
Just a couple thousand. No, we've got Brandy Schaefer as Brandy. Zach Andrews as Zach. Bobby Rowe as Bobby. Mikey Rowe as Mikey. Jeff Larson as Jeff.
And the famous
crazy ass Chloe Crampton as porcelain.
Yeah, she's a little scary.
Yeah, let's not forget Cal Bryce, who is the head clown at I forgot what house, but
Head clown.
the clown face is familiar.
Oh.
But yeah,
Yeah,
Fun.
so aside from like talking about the cast, I guess like they did good because I really did believe that again, like I don't know, I feel like with found footage films, you'd have to really be at least decent with your acting because it's a found footage film. The whole point of a found footage film is for it to feel real. And so again, mentioning again, the fact that they put in real interviews like really helped it. But along with like their acting as well, like that was also really good. And the way that they were scared and shaking in their boots, terrified. They did good, and I liked it. I've never seen part 2.
I have, and it is.
I have not.
I personally
like it better.
I like it better just because of what happens
Okay.
at one point in the movie, where I was like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah.
But I feel like with any movie like this, there's got to be a what the fuck kind of moment.
Okay.
But House of October Built 2, what the fuck?
It's a good one. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'll give it a shot and see what's up in that. Okay. So from the cast, we have some facts. We have just 2. So the first one is the XXX sign, the XXS sign seen off the highway in the movie. It's like a very passing by, like they kind of did like a pan view of like the showing what they see on the side of the road. And then there's a big sign that has XXX. It's seen off the highway for Dreamers at 2705 Interstate 35 Frontage Road in Hillsboro, Texas.
Slay.
And I just thought I'd mention that because like that's here in Texas.
I-35.
Yeah, that's literally, yeah. And going on road trips, I've probably passed by
Yeah,
that, which means
probably.
I've been on the same road as these people, which means I'm practically famous.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Love that.
The second one is at one point on the road, someone asks, has a zombie ever fired a gun in the history of cinema? Mike replies, no, but the truth is George Romero incorporated at least 2 instances of gun toting
I think toting.
zombies in his film. The first was Day of the Dead from 1985, where the now famous zombie Bub is the first zombie to ever hold and fire a gun. The second instance was Land of the Dead in 2005, where there are multiple zombies using an assortment of firearms. That's terrifying. Give a zombie a firearm? No, thank
When
you.
you give a mouse a cookie,
What he gonna do with it?
he gonna eat it.
He gonna eat it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But here's the thing, like realistically speaking,
Mhm.
actually, I'm interested in knowing from all these fictional zombies which one would be probably smart enough to be
And
able
that's my
to
thing.
handle one. You know which one I think? Low key walkers.
You think so?
Think
I feel like zombies are zombies. I feel like
Zombies.
zombies. I feel like zombies in general are like dumb as fuck.
No, 1000%. But like, if you think about it, they be eating brains.
No. Okay, so here's the thing. I don't know how often you like watch or who's interested in ever watching like specifically Korean
Oh,
horror
bitch.
films that have zombies in them.
No.
I think those would be smart enough to use
Yeah, they
firearms.
would.
When I tell you, every time I watch a Korean film, their zombies are like on steroids.
They are.
They know how to
They're
run.
fast as
They are
fuck.
fast as hell. And me and Melody always kind of go back and forth with asking each other like, would you rather be in a which by the way, now speaking of this, I don't think we've covered something with zombies this season, so we might need to change that at some point.
We will.
Anyway, we always tell each other like, would you rather be in an apocalypse with like fast zombies that are fast like day and night, or would you rather be like in an
Slow.
apocalypse with slow zombies,
Slow.
but they only come out like one time out of the day?
Okay,
Whatever.
here's the thing. Like, I haven't watched The Walking Dead in a million years, but
I haven't either.
and they're slow, right? Walkers are slow. Clickers are fast, as well as Zombieland
So
zombies.
clickers Clickers are actually, there are variety different clickers.
There are a variety of different.
And
yeah.
that's what scares me.
That is
because
so,
you never know
here's the
which
thing.
ones are which.
The Last of Us universe. First of all, I'm finding Joel first.
Oh, I love him.
I'm finding him.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a freak it.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna probably
Whatever.
kill myself because Lord knows that I will not be able to
I like to
survive
think-
in the last. I'm sorry, but I can't.
I don't think I have a motivation enough to survive an apocalypse. I
However,
really don't care.
Zombieland, just because Zombieland universe, probably tampoco because
No.
they're fast. The Walking Dead, girl,
I'm good.
I'm surviving that shit.
Oh, yeah.
I'm surviving that shit.
I think, yeah. I can do a little, like, again, depending on what type of zombies I get, if I were to ever be in an apocalypse, would determine.
Train to Busan, I'm dead within the first second.
Oh, absolutely. I'm not even trying.
I'm not even trying.
Mm-mm. And I think that's going to determine whether I want to survive or not. Because it's like, how hard do I really want to try to
Right.
like survive an apocalypse with like fast ass zombies?
And again, going back to the thing that I mentioned in almost every episode, my God complex. Yeah, no, I'm not going to have one during a fast zombie apocalypse.
I love that.
Yeah.
But anyway, aside from the zombie talk, yes, I that's actually really funny, and that they kind of mentioned that little like, I like little like what I always forget the word when they mention like horror movies and different horror movies. Little hats off, like hee hee.
little nod to
Yeah,
it. But,
yeah, like
but yeah, there's
something-
another word I can't think of.
I can't either.
But good to know that we're very passionate about zombies.
Yeah,
'cause
now that I
we
know
have
that-
to make a whole episode not about a movie, just about zombies.
Just about zombies,
Yeah.
and I love that. I love
Yeah,
the
let's
little
do that.
zombie tangent we just had.
yeah.
You wanna come out and play?
No,
No.
I'm good.
You
You stay your ass right where you is, girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You stay there. I'm gonna walk out here.
Uh-huh. I'm
All
gonna go ahead and
right.
leave.
I'm gonna go
Thank
grab my
you.
5mm. Now, moving along with the episode a little bit more, Monica and I had first of all, we have a lot of troubles with these would you rathers. Yeah. Because they're starting to get a little complicated.
They're starting to get complicated. See, it was a really good idea when we first started.
Right.
But now that almost every horror movie kind of has the same concept,
Right.
they change a little bit. But I
Yeah.
think you guys understand.
Yeah.
We try
Just
to.
know that we tried our best.
Yes.
Okay? So, it's time to play a little
Would
you rather? Yeah. So, for this would you rather be trapped inside an RV surrounded by masked psychos, or it's basically the same thing, be tormented / stalked and followed around your road trip?
I think we can change one of those to like in a haunted house.
Well,
like-
because if you think about it, the RV is just like you're sat in one place, right?
I guess that's true. Versus like being
versus
stuck your entire trip.
Your entire road trip.
Yeah, that's actually pretty fucking scary.
Yeah. I would rather.
What is your God complex telling you with this one?
My God complex, she's quiet right now.
Mm.
She's a little quiet.
So I kind of have like one or few things, right? Like, because if I'm in my RV, an RV is basically a big car.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna run over every single one of them bitches.
Didn't they take off the wires, or am I tripping? From the RV?
I don't remember.
Didn't they? Listen,
And that's-
for both scenarios,
Mm-hmm.
in the RV one, if I see them barely start to surround me, I'm turning that engine on and I'm driving out.
Yeah.
However,
one of them on
if
the
I'm
way
a
out.
little too slow about it and I stay in the RV,
Mm-hmm.
they have the opportunity, like they have the chance to like pop a tire, to cut my wires,
True.
all of that. So I don't think it's a win-win for either. For me,
I guess that's true, because imagine you're like in your RV and you're parked out somewhere like for the night, and then you sleep, and then you wake up in the middle of the night, and then you just like see them all surrounded like in a circle around your RV. Then at that point, if I can't turn on my RV because they did something to it, or I can't take off, then like what I'm gonna do?
well, I'm fucked.
I'm a sitting duck.
Mm-hmm.
That's real sad.
Okay, but okay. To choose one, I would rather
I think I'd rather be stalked during my trip
Me too.
because I'm assume that my RV still works. But 2, if I have good not perception. Well, sort of like I have good
Sense.
sense of like my surroundings,
Right.
which I ain't gonna lie, sometimes
Is
it's
it?
not.
It's okay.
Yeah, I think I'd be got because of that. But anyway, but like if it's happening so often and then I eventually notice it, like I could maybe do something about it, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one is kind of hard because it's like I don't want to be stuck because I don't think I'd notice unless they're literally like, "Hey, sister,"
Yeah, I would also choose being stalked during my road trip.
during the road trip and not
Yes.
like while you're sitting in an RV.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm choosing that one too.
All
All right, moving on.
Cool. Well, let's go ahead and rate this movie before ending the episode. Now, this is a horror movie.
Yes,
So
it
we
is.
will have our 2 scales of satisfactory and scary. Just
Mhm.
because a horror movie is good does not always mean it is scary, and vice versa. So, Monica,
Yes.
what do you rate this movie?
Thank you so much for asking.
course.
I actually love rating all of these movies because it gets me to think, you know.
Okay. And I know we kind of started it in a couple episodes ago, and we don't have to start it right now, but I think we should start like actually explaining why we docked off each point. Like each point
Like
is
each
one
point
reason.
okay.
Yeah.
I go mine based off of like
But we don't have to start right now.
yeah. No, I completely understand. But I'm saying like I don't know. I'm not good at
Just
explaining
vibes.
this. Yeah,
Right?
mine are literally just vibes.
Same.
Yeah.
I won't be honest.
Mine are
Just-
like vibe points.
Just vibes. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So my scary scale, I put it at a 6. But let me tell you something. I'm gonna bump that up to like a 7.5.
Okay.
Because now that I'm like realizing, like talking about it and stuff, I hate the concept. I hate the concept because it's literally the number one reason why I refrain and get so much anxiety about going into a haunted house. And I hate to kind of compare it, but like I think this is like the best perspective that I can give you for people who are like, you're so silly for hating haunted houses. I hate like I'll do it. I'll go into them, but I have so much anxiety as if like honestly like the same reasoning why I now have so much anxiety about going into like massive crowds because I'm scared someone is just going to like start letting one rip.
That is me with, and I know it's yours too and a lot of people's, but me in movie theaters. I'll never forget my sister and I went to go watch a movie. This was a million years ago. I don't even remember what movie it was. I think it was pretty bad. It was a pretty bad horror movie. It was a horror movie. But it was just my sister and I, another pair of like sisters behind us, and one single man sitting in front of us.
That's terrifying.
And it was like I was scared for my life, and I was like, and it sucks, but unfortunately, it's the reality of living here. But the second this man walked in, which he walked in like 30 minutes late, I immediately looked for all the exits.
Yeah. Like, and that's what I mean. So like, I get like really massive anxiety because I overthink these situations and I think like the worst case scenario about these things. And so the concept of this movie is the reason why. And so I that's the reason why it's so scary. Now, it's not a full 10 out of 10 for me because I can watch this movie like on my own and like not feel that scared. Like if I'm watching it at home.
Right.
Because I'm in a safe zone, right? And it's also like I don't know, like it's just like I've seen scarier as a movie.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Absolutely.
So really the 7.5 is because of the concept and
Yeah.
because of like my personal fear for haunted houses. But like as a movie, to me, it's not that scary.
Right.
So take that as you will. Now, Satisfactory is a good 7 as well. I've never seen part 2, so I can't compare it to its second part. But this movie was good. I like the way, again, the things that were included to make this found footage film feel a lot more real and to kind of give that eeriness and feeling. And I also think that the porcelain girl added a lot of character to the movie.
Absolutely.
When I showed Mateo this movie, and even last night he brought it up again, he's like, so who's the porcelain girl? And I was like, I think she was just part of like the group that helped stalk them
Yeah.
and just kind of lure him to the haunt. And he's like, oh, so she's not like really someone important. And I was like, not specifically, but I think because of how she looks, that's why they chose her for the poster. And he's like, oh. And I was like, yeah, there's like really no significance to her, but like she's really cool to look at, like scary but cool. And so yeah, so like I like all of the things that go into making this found footage, film. But it's a movie that I watch every fall, but it's not a movie that I watch every it's not a comfort movie for
Yeah.
me.
1,000% I agree.
Yeah, but it's a good one, and I always recommend it to people who've never seen it because
Yeah.
I'm just like, it's a good slasher, a little bit kind of a psychological,
I think it's very it's very psychological to me.
And I think what also helps is the ending is that we don't know what
Right,
happens. We don't know what happens. Like there's no like solid ending, and I think that's what sucks. Well, it's like what sucks, but it's also what helps the fact of like psychos are psychos.
Right.
Are they gonna kill you? Or are they gonna let you live? Like who knows?
Mhm.
So I don't know. But yes, those are my two. What about you?
Scary scale. I think I am going to give it a 6 out of 10. Just because like you mentioned, the idea of this happening is terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
The actual movie itself, yes, it had its moments, but I wasn't quivering in my boots. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Satisfactory 7.5 out of 10. Again, I will watch this again. I do enjoy watching this movie. Just for and y'all know that I don't like psychological, but I think honestly I like this movie for that psychological aspects, just because it just kind of, I don't know, like just kind of like going back to the Psychos, I guess, and just seeing how far and extreme people go just to torment other people. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, overall, I really enjoy this movie.
And it's an overall like good one. It's just not like
it's not a horrible movie.
No,
No,
I like it.
I would never.
Again,
give it.
this is why I suck at this is why I would suck at like explaining my deduction on points, because I'm just like I don't know.
if we have deductions on points, we'll mention it. But
yes.
But just know that most of these just go through by vibes.
Always know that our satisfactory scale will always either be lower or higher than our scary scale, because as people who like horror, it's kind of hard to get scared off of some things that we watch these.
Yeah.
So just if you didn't already know that, that's also something we should, kind of get there. So
all right. Well, I think this concludes this episode on The House is October Built. As always, if today's episode intrigued you and you haven't watched this movie and would like to, you can watch it, first of all, free on YouTube, which is what we
apparently,
learned, what we learned. Actually, and it's true because I opened up my YouTube to look it up, and apparently I had been watching it on there.
And you're like, oh, interesting.
Yeah.
It is free on YouTube.
It is free on YouTube. And you can also rent it on almost any streaming service for $1.99 or $3.99 on Amazon Prime, Vudu, Google Movies, YouTube, and Apple TV. And I think it's free on Tubi.
On Tubi. Yes,
Tubi.
it's free on
Okay.
Tubi.
Okay, good.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. All right. Well, anyway, thank you guys for joining us on this episode of Scream City. We appreciate you guys taking the time to listen and be a part of our horror community. And of course, for being patient with us, as always. Your support means the world to us. And if you enjoyed this episode, please consider leaving a review or sharing it with your friends and family. And if you want to keep up with us, we will have our social media in the summary description.
Like and subscribe and comment.
And follow.
Thanks. Yes, we seriously can't thank you guys enough. With that being said, please tune in to next week's episode, if you like today's, where we will be talking all about Bloodfest.
Continuing the haunted house theme
that we got going on here. Yeah. I've never seen it. So we're gonna go ahead and see what that see what that does.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
I will say I really enjoy Bloodfest.
Okay.
I really enjoy Bloodfest.
I've seen
and I
Hellfest.
will- Yes.
I've seen Hellfest, not Bloodfest.
I'm excited to talk about that movie because I
All
really
right.
enjoy it.
Nice.
But anyway, Monica, I've got a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think this week's movie was a movie?
Oh, I thought it was a movie. Because if you tell me that I'm watching a movie about, honestly,
the thing
haunted,
that you're terrified
that I'm terrified
about?
of, yeah, it's a movie. And also, okay, sorry, just going back to my rating, I also deducted like a couple of points because it's not gory.
Right.
There's no gore.
Understood.
There's no gore. Like you'll see like
But
someone's bloody face. But
yeah, I was gonna say like at the end though,
yeah, like you see some.
when they're like buried, I don't know. To me, that's just like terrifying.
Oh, it's terrifying,
Yeah.
but like gore, like there's
Yeah.
not a lot of blood. There's
feel
not a
that.
lot of like hammering to death or anything like that. Like nothing crazy, nothing terrifier. So that's also why I deducted a few points now that I think about it. But anywhoozles, yeah, I thought it was a movie. I thought it was a pretty good movie.
Me too.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
This week's movie was a movie. All right. Well, there you guys have it. We will talk to you guys next week. As always, we've been your hosts, Jess.
And Monica.
Stay safe
And
stay spooky.
Oof, that was scary. I can't wait to come back next week.